It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast on this, the 10th day of November, 2023. Coming to you, unfortunately, from Central Virginia area, right outside of Lynchburg in Bedford County. I say unfortunately because I should be in Miami, Florida right now. One bit of news along those veins. For the last 11 days, I've been forced to take sponge baths. That ended this morning, folks. I got to take a shower. And it was so nice just to sit there in the shower and let that hot water run over me for some time. So, yeah, got the foot wet. It did fine. It looks fine. You know, I haven't driven other than I drove to the doctor's office and back. So I haven't, gone for the 3-hour bit driving again. But I think maybe we're over the hump for the most part. But we'll have to, I've still got to push it a little bit to see. But at least now that extra week has definitely helped it. All right, headlines today. Carnival cancels multiple cruises. This will make Hot Air Tom happy, by the way. Cruise director bids farewell. New lines, new ships, and a new terminal. Seattle's record-setting year. And Booking.com to the U.S. and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Vanilla Cupcake Day. I'll eat vanilla cupcakes. I'll eat any kind of cupcakes. I'm not a big cupcake fan. But yeah, I mean, they're perfectly fine. It's like a little piece of cake. Anyway, today's National Vanilla Cupcake Day. If you don't have any, go get one. Or two. Or, as many as you want. All right. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. Or wherever you get your podcast from, to search for Travel and Cruise Industry News. And up pops the fat travel guy. We got some personal stuff to cover this morning. First of all, our buddy Nate, that's not Nate, by the way. The story is about Nate. A blizzard slammed into Alaska's coastline this week, delivering up to 100 inches of snow. Two popular skiing areas, Alyeska, and Valdez, did not make the 100 inches, but got a flurry of snow of 35 inches. Our buddy Nate, who's been on a couple cruises and in Florida for the past month, flew from Orlando to Anchorage last night. He's a damn fool. So he's up there in 100 inches of snow. All right. Elizabeth on location. That harbor should look popular by now, or familiar to you by now. So should that scene. She's in Malta. And this message came from Mr. Bucket List, my buddy Justin. He says this morning, welcome to Asia. 3 years ago, I started making solo content on YouTube just as a stress reliever. As of today, I co-hosted a group of 39 amazing solo travelers in 3 different continents in a week. Being that we left from Athens, Greece, it was 4 continents for this Florida guy. Life has been great. That's my buddy Justin. Only while he was over there, that's my buddy Justin too. And I said, dude, those guys will spit at you. But he's at the pyramids on a camel. Can't wait to talk to him about that one. All right. We've talked about this time and time and time again, it seems. After experiencing propulsion issues for several months, Carnival Cruise Line canceled 4 upcoming cruises for Carnival Panorama, including a Thanksgiving sailing. As I reported earlier this week, Carnival Panorama had to cancel 2 of its 3 cruise ports on this week's sailing. To fix the problem, the cruise line has decided to cancel the next 4 7-night sailings when the ship returned to Long Beach this weekend. The ship will be taken out of service at the conclusion of the current voyage on Saturday, November the 11th, and go immediately to dry dock for repair. We expect the ship to return to service for the December 9th departure, which means they're canceling November 11th, November 18th, November 26th, and December 2nd. A letter to book guests says we will automatically process a full refund of your cruise fare, including pre-purchased Carnival shore excursions and any fun shop purchases to your original form of payment. Please be advised that it could take up to 3 weeks to process the said refund through your bank. The letter went on to read, in addition to the full refund and travel expense reimbursement, we're extending a 50% future cruise credit for all guests so that we can welcome you back on another cruise. The exception to this offer will be this week, November the 11th, and next week's November 18th. These guys will be provided 100% future cruise credit to reflect the last minute notification for this next upcoming cruise, as well as the disruption to Thanksgiving plans on the next one. So, many of you have sailed with the Flying Scotsman, Chris Williams. He's leaving his role as the Carnival Cruise Line cruise director after 12 years to become a fleet cruise director. On Wednesday afternoon, he announced his new position on his YouTube channel, stating he would start next week. Famous for his lively parties and energetic shows in the atrium, Chris said he accepted the promotion to look ahead, secure his family's future. Most recently, Chris has been on the Carnival Celebration. So, did I put a spot in for the commercial? I don't even remember. If I didn't, I'm going to pause for a break from one of our network sponsors. How's that? All right, the next story this morning, folks. Can't even remember if I did that or not. I'm getting old, guys. The memory's going. I forget who Hot Air Tom is every now and then. No, I try to forget who Hot Air Tom is every now and then. So the next story comes from Port Everglades. That'd be Fort Lauderdale, for those of you that don't know. But Port Everglades is kicking off the 2023-2024 cruise season by welcoming new cruise lines, new ships, and establishing itself as a new home port for Disney Cruise Line. We could very well top our 4 million passenger record, although our official projected number is conservatively estimated at 3.7 million embarking and disembarking guests, said Port Everglades CEO and Port Director Jonathan Daniels. As the trend, we are seeing more luxury ships such as Viking and Ritz-Carlton and shorter itineraries from Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Disney, Daniels said. So far this season, which started in October, Port Everglades has welcomed first calls from Viking expedition ship Viking Octantis and Viking Polaris, also the Viking Mars, as well as Phoenix Risen's Artanium. Beginning November 20th, the Disney Dream will home port year-round in a specialty designed cruise terminal dedicated for Disney Cruise Line guests. The partnership with Disney includes a 15-year agreement with one ship to be home ported in Port Everglades year-round and joined by a second seasonal ship to be announced in 2025. Celebrity Cruises, Celebrity Ascent, debuts at Port Everglades with 2, 3, and 4-night preview sailings in November of 2023 before being named at Port Everglades on December 1st and embarking on her inaugural Caribbean season with alternating 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean itineraries. Celebrity Ascent is the fourth ship in Celebrity Edge Series class and one of 7 celebrity ships to sail from Port Everglades this season. The Silver Nova will be named at Port Everglades on January the 4th. This will be the first ship to use liquefied natural gas as the main fuel at Port Everglades. Royal Caribbean International's Oasis class Symphony of the Seas will shift to Port Everglades after returning from Europe in November and will sail alternating 6- and 8-night cruises to the Caribbean. Azamara also joins the Port Everglades fleet for the first time with the arrival of Azamara Onward on November 30th. Azamara Onward will finish the 2024 season at Port Everglades with an inaugural 155-night world voyage departing January 5th, visiting over 40 countries and 22 overnight stays and 27 late nights in port. Port Everglades also said it is looking forward to having a busier than usual summer 2024 with 5 cruise ships, including Celebrity Beyond, Celebrity Reflection, Disney Magic, Enchanted Princess, and Freedom of the Seas. Princess Cruises will home port the brand new Sun Princess at Port Everglades beginning in October. That's October 2024, of course. The Sun Princess, the first in the line's new Sphere class, will be Princess Cruises' first LNG fueled ship and its largest, accommodating more than 4,000. The newly rebranded luxury line Crystal recently announced that it will move from Miami and begin home porting from Port Everglades in November of 2024 with the completely refurbished Crystal Serenity. Port Everglades has completed a study to add shore power to the port's 8 cruise terminal, which will allow cruise ships to use electricity while idling in port instead of burning fuel. The study was performed by Moffatt Nickel, a global infrastructure advisory firm working in cooperation with Florida Power and Light, Carnival Corporation, Disney Cruise Line, and Royal Caribbean Group. The recommended plan is capable of delivering up to 16 megawatts of electricity simultaneously to each of 8 terminals in accordance with the IEC IEEE 80005 standards, whatever that means. The projected cost for the project, including the estimates from FPL Supply and Distribution Center upgrades, is approximately $20 million per cruise terminal for a total cost of $160 million. The project expected to be financed through federal and state grants, contributions from FPL, and the participating cruise lines. The earliest construction could occur in mid-2024, with all phases completed by the end of 2027. So, big things ahead for Fort Lauderdale, folks. If you don't sail regularly from Fort Lauderdale, you need to put that into your list, because I like Fort Lauderdale. I'd rather fly into Fort Lauderdale than I would to Miami. It seems to me it's a lot easier, and it's closer and it's quicker. So if you're not going out of Fort Lauderdale, try it. You'll like it. All right. Our friends out on the West Coast, I've talked long and hard about Vancouver and how much I loved Vancouver this year. Well, the Port of Seattle, Vancouver's twin, as it were, concluded the 2023 cruise season on Monday, October 30th, with the departure of Norwegian Sun from Bell Street Pier Cruise Terminal at Pier 66. This year's cruise season hosted 291 cruises with a record 1.778 million revenue passengers, according to a press release from Seattle. The port said it estimated that each home-ported cruise ship at berth brings $4 million in economic impact to the region, with a total of nearly $900 million in economic impact over the course of the cruise season. Most cruise passengers stay a couple of days in Seattle before or after their Alaska cruise. Over 20% of cruise passengers check their bags early to the airport so they can spend the day enjoying the Seattle area before boarding their flights for home. More than 1/3 of the cruise ship utilized shore power at Smith Cove Cruise Terminal, setting a record number of plug-ins for a Seattle cruise season. The port is currently at work to make its third cruise terminal berth at Pier 66 capable of supplying electrical power during next year. And finally, this morning, folks, have any of you ever used Booking.com? I hadn't, but I looked at it this morning. Booking.com introduced cruises as a new travel vertical for customers in the U.S. through a partnership with World Travel Holdings. Cruise planning benefits includes access to more than 10,000 sailings on over 30 cruise lines from more than 55 departure ports across the globe. Plus, customers will have access to always-on deals throughout the year, including 50 to 100, 500, or 1,000 onboard credits, depending on the total amount spent. Congratulations to Booking.com. It's an interesting search engine, folks. I'll use a number of things when I'm looking, including directly to the individual cruise lines, but also make a great deal of use of Vacations to Go, which I'm used to. And it covers not as many as Booking.com does, but I'm used to that. But Booking.com is an interesting search engine, and of course, it has other benefits with it as well. All right, that's going to wrap up the news portion of the shows this week. Yes, it is Friday, folks. I'm not forgetting that. Let's go see who's yammering at me in the chat room or sleeping through everything I've said this morning. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. There's Steve out in Kentucky. Steve, I don't know if you got that phone call back yesterday. I did talk to the individual that you and I talked about. And I don't know how much of this he told you, so I'll tell you. He has not gotten rates from all of the people that he gets excursions from for next year yet. And he was on his way to Anchorage. So, and yeah, folks, I'm talking about Nate. Yeah, he got into Anchorage, I don't know, after midnight Anchorage time, which is like 4 o'clock in the morning for us or something. Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly. Glad that you're healing. Thank you very much. It's been an interesting couple weeks. Robert's with us. There's Dennis. Hi, Dennis. Nikki's with us down in Jacksonville. Great news about the PSA numbers. Yeah, thank you, Nikki. I posted that yesterday. Folks, when all this mess with my health started 4+ years ago now, the thing that started it was, I thought I had a urinary tract infection, and come to find out that I had prostate cancer, and my PSA, that's the prostate test results, was 484. My doctor had never seen a PSA that high. My personal doctor. When I went to the doctor this week and they ran the PSA test, they called me from the cancer center. My PSA was 0.18. How's that for a drop, folks? Now, yeah, I've been through hell to get it to drop that far. And I'm still taking $13,000 a month medication. But I'm pretty happy about that one. Sonny's with us down in Mississippi. Hi, Sonny. Full refund with 100% cruise credit for 11 and November 11th and 18 bookings. Yep, that's right. Full refund with 100% future cruise credit. I mean, that's not bad for losing the cruise this week. Emily's with us. Hi, Emily. That's up there in New York. I haven't made fun of Emily today. Uh-oh. I'll have to think about that, Emily. Right offhand, I can't think of anything to make fun of you about. But if I try real hard, I might come up with something. Steve says hello. Dennis says Port Miami is still my favorite. Well, Port Miami's gotten so big and spread out. And yeah, I mean, they handle a lot of ships. I was really surprised when I was in there last week. Now, I went into Port Miami as a port of call, not as a embarkation debarkation point. I was really surprised that there are areas around Port Miami that are not wheelchair accessible. That one, because I thought the whole place was wheelchair accessible. It had been everything that I've ever done there. So yeah, it was a bit strange to be in an area where I got cut off on both ends. I could go so far in one direction and had to turn around, and so far in the other direction and had to turn around, because there were no sidewalk ramps and there were no getting over curbs and that kind of thing. So that one really surprised me. But I liked Port Everglades before that. So, and I like Fort Lauderdale Airport too. It's a little bit smaller, and they seem to be very efficient. So, and I'm not trying to cut down Miami whatsoever, because I mean, 3/4 of the time I'm going out of Miami, but when I do go out of Fort Lauderdale, I seem to always go smooth. So, just saying. Katie's with us. Morning, all. Vacation day. I'm out shoe shopping for her cruise next weekend. Don't spend too much money on your shoes, Katie. You got to go on a cruise and have that alcohol beverage money. Adult beverage money. I'm supposed to say that, aren't I? Katie getting new sandals or flip-flops? Well, now for flip-flops, and then she'd be saving some money for adult beverages. Dennis says, wonderful single-digit countdown. Yeah, that's true. She's getting close. Emily says, hello, Steve. All is well. I hope things are well with you. Thank you for asking. Gretchen's here. Hi, Gretchen, out in Ohio. Gretchen State was certainly in the news in the U.S. this week. Katie, what are you buying? Have fun shopping. Oh, she just said she's buying flip-flops or sandals. Oh, no. We said that. We don't know what Katie's buying. She's buying shoes. She's getting a pair of shoes, man. Never use third party for bookings. Upgrades more likely for guests booking directly. I use Vacations to Go and Kayak just for availability and prices. Yeah, well, me too. For years, I booked through Vacations to Go because I had an agent that I really liked. I mean, he was great. And then during the pandemic, he left, and they assigned me a new agent who I did a couple things through him, and it just wasn't. It wasn't the same. So then I kind of altered the way I handle it, and have gone through closer people or done it myself. And we're getting real closely, possibly, to start booking cruises too for other folks. We're getting very close to that time in my life. We'll see. Let's see. Steve, thanks. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis says, fantastic. What a drop, Chillie. Way to go. Congratulations. Yeah, that was pretty cool. 87 days for Gretchen till the next one. Seems like a world away. I don't have that long, Gretchen. You know, I'm supposed to be one day. I'm supposed to sail tomorrow. Boy, that hurt me to cancel it. And I'm so sorry about Pittsburgh Jason that I'm not going to be with him on this one. But yeah, it had to be. So my next one's now December 2nd. And of course, that's a biggie. That's one of my hosted cruises. So I'll be playing the host on that one. Gretchen loves Fort Lauderdale also. You can make fun about my confusion, your PSA. Yeah, we could do that. Nah. See, Emily, you don't have any reason to know what a PSA was. That one, I didn't fault you at all for being confused about that. It'd be different if you were a male, which you're not, and you had PSA tests, every year or two, like a lot of us have. Only mine now is every 3 months I get a PSA test. Gretchen says 10 minutes or less from ship to airport by cab, no transfer needed. Yeah, that's very true. But I'd rather stay in South Beach than Fort Lauderdale, Dennis says. Also, Miami has wonderful nightlife and many, many hotels. Fort Lauderdale is convenient for Port Everglades. Yeah, well, I guess maybe, Dennis, I've just gotten too damn old to care that much about nightlife. And I admit that. I mean, I'm I'm right up there with dirt, Yeah, I'll go out maybe and have a drink after dinner, but that's it. Oh, occasionally I'd go to a ball game or a show or something special. But just to go out at night, no. I'm back in my room and working. I mean, I work all the time. I don't take just pure vacations. My body doesn't work that way. I'll be sitting on a computer. I'll be working on something or thinking about something or posting something or transferring photographs from my phone to the computer. Boy, would I like to come up with some way of doing that quicker. But, and I know there's something about using cards, some kind of card thing. I don't know how to do that. Don't even know what one looks like to do it. Remember, I'm not very technical, folks. But then, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Dennis. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of people prefer, so does Hot Air Tom. Hot Air prefers Miami. He likes staying in, like the Intercontinental. Although he doesn't go over in South Beach where you go. He goes right down there in the heart of touristy area. But anyway, that's two good options. Let's put it that way. Depends on what you're in the mood for. Yahoo, Katie. You'll be on a cruise and we'll be stuck at home with the turkey. I don't know what we're going to do for Thanksgiving yet. I haven't brought that up to the family. Last year we went out and that was not successful. And I'm afraid going out would be even less successful this year. But I don't think Amanda hates cooking turkey. Maybe I can get somebody to deliver me a plate of turkey. I don't know. We'll see. I need to ask since we're coming up on it. Vacation to Go is the largest cruise agent. Yeah, they are. And it's a great search engine. I mean, anytime I need a quick price on something and knowing that the money that they're quoting is the same as you can get direct. In the United States, an agent like them, they can't discount the prices from the cruise line. I mean, the cruise lines give the agent a percentage. That's how the agents make their money. But the agent can't take, say, $1,000 cruise and sell it for $800 if the cruise line is selling it for $1,000, unless it is a contracted group price. Like we did one of my hosted groups, Norwegian gave us a balcony, a solo cabin that was $1,000 cheaper than you could get it for directly from the website, from the Norwegian Direct. But that was in a contract for the group cruise. That was the difference. To my knowledge, Vacations to Go does not do groups. They might. I've just never done one with them. Buying sandals and some sturdy, comfy boat shoes. Okay, well, we'll let you do that. Using my diamond drinks. Okay. Gretchen says, sorry about that, Chillie. There's Alice. Hi, Alice. How's old Yo-Yo Brooklyn in the house hubby of yours? That's Eddie, of course. Katie says she loves Port Canaveral. Everybody saying hello to Alice. Everybody says that, of course. Katie, what do you like about Port Canaveral? Other than it's close to you. Katie says it's Eddie's better half. Yes, it is. Either that or Eddie is using Alice's login information and going incognito. No, I don't think he's doing that. I like the Renaissance in Fort Lauderdale, Gretchen says. Nightlife not as important to me as a good, close seafood restaurant I can walk to dockside. Yeah. Now, I'm with Gretchen on that one. a good one that's close. Close to Orlando where I live, found good parking. Yeah, and there's a couple good restaurants in Port Canaveral as well. And unfortunately, I couldn't get to one of them that I was going to, that Katie took me to before. But yeah, I'm not opposed to Port Canaveral, except when it comes to accessibility issues, and I've had trouble with them in the past. I have not been out of there recently, and I'm going to be going out of there in January, I believe it is. Yeah, January. I sail from Port Canaveral. So I'm hoping that they've gotten their issues straightened out with accessibility things. We've been hammering them about it. Dennis says, Alice, the best bit is that Disney has their own private cruise terminal. Bayside Marketplace, I roll. Yeah, the Bayside Marketplace is not Dennis's favorite spot in the world. That's as Dennis puts it, the low life of South Beach. Katie says, we went there in 2018 and 19 and found the part to be very industrial. So we took an excursion to Disney Springs and had a great time. And Alice says, hello to Sonny and Dennis. Emily says, I have not worn boat shoes in a while. Very cool. Look for deck shoes at Sperry, Admiral's Cup range. Fantastic and offers when buying online. Sperry, huh? I've never been to Sperry. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me this week. How about that? Killed another week. Goodness gracious. We're quickly moving toward Thanksgiving Day. And that means Christmas is just right around the corner. Oh, Lord, why did I have to mention that? All right, guys. Thank everybody for being here. If you haven't smashed that thumbs up button, boy, I'd appreciate that. That'll help the channel out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. I'm hoping to hit 5,000 by 3 o'clock this afternoon. And of course, that has to do with what I've been smoking this morning. No, it doesn't. I don't smoke anything. Yeah, never again. After 56 years, never again. And I'm one of those obnoxious non-smokers too. Oh my goodness. Terrible. All right, guys. How did I get off on that? That's going to wrap it up for this week. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. You guys have a phenomenal day and a fantastic weekend. I'll see if anything major happens. If not, I'll see you back here Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, chilly chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.